Tonight, listeners, we journey to a small town where the fog clings to the river, the gas lamps flicker in the mist, and a newcomer will uncover secrets better left buried. Welcome to Willow Creek. Detective Leonard Harper had driven miles along winding country roads, the wheels of his old Plymouth crunching gravel as he approached the town. Willow Creek was the sort of place where everyone knew everyone, and strangers were met with curiosity or suspicion. Fog rolled in from the river, curling around lampposts and hitching a ride up the cobblestone streets. And Harper pulled up in front of the Willow Creek Inn, a brick building with ivy climbing its walls and a faded brass sign swinging gently in the wind. The inn's gas lamps flickered weakly, casting elongated shadows across the wet cobblestones. And inside, the lobby smelled of wood polish and coal smoke. A fire crackled lazily in the hearth, struggling to fight the chill. Behind the desk, the innkeeper, Mrs. Agnes Fulton, gave Harper a once-over. Her sharp eyes seemed to look right through him. "Evening, detective," she said, her voice smooth but edged with suspicion. "We don't often see new faces around here, especially not on a night like this." And Harper tipped his hat. "Evening, ma'am. Leonard Harper. I've been asked to look into unusual occurrences in town. Heard you've had some troubles lately." In MRs, Fulton's lips pressed together. "Troubles always find Willow Creek. People disappear. Things go missing. But usually nothing comes to blood. Yet somehow, this week, the creek whispers more than usual." Harper raised an eyebrow. "Whispers?" NSHE gestured toward the staircase leading to the guest rooms. "Rooms upstairs. You'll be near the view of the creek. Some say the fog carries voices at night and shadows move where no one treads." Harper nodded, setting down his coat. There was a chill in the air that had nothing to do with the fireplace. He had been a detective for years, had solved cases in cities bustling with noise and crime, yet there was something about Willow Creek, small, quiet, unassuming, that made his instincts tingle, and NHE climbed the stairs slowly, each step creaking beneath him. The hallway smelled faintly of damp wood and lavender polish. He passed a series of doors, each numbered and closed, guarding secrets behind them. Reaching room 7, he inserted the key Mrs. Fulton had given him. The room was modest but neat. A brass bed, a small writing desk, and a window overlooking the fog-draped river. Harper set his bag down and peered out. The water gleamed like molten silver in the moonlight, and in the mist, the outlines of trees swayed silently. NHE was about to sit when a soft knock echoed at the door. Harper rose. "Cautious and detective?" whispered a woman's voice, almost blending with the hiss of fog outside. NHE opened the door to find a young woman, pale, her shawl wrapped tightly. Her eyes darted nervously to the street below. I wasn't sure who else to turn to. They say you're good at finding things, people answers." Harper nodded slowly. "Step inside, miss. Clara Whitfield," she said. "And it's my brother. He's gone. Vanished from the inn 2 nights ago. The staff, they say he just wandered off. But I know something's wrong." Harper's gaze hardened. "Tell me everything, Miss Whitfield. Every detail matters." NNTHE wind rattled the window pane as she began to speak, the fog outside curling and swirling like living fingers across the streets. Harper listened closely. Names, times, strange noises, shadows glimpsed in corners. Each word weaving a tapestry of intrigue, and NHE already knew this would not be a simple disappearance. Willow Creek held secrets, and the night was only beginning. Then, as Claire described the last time she saw her brother, a sudden shadow flickered across the fogged window. A figure standing silently by the riverbank, watching them. A brother gone without a trace, a fog-shrouded river, and a town that whispers secrets. Detective Harper begins his investigation, unaware that Willow Creek has eyes everywhere. And Harper followed Clara Whitfield down the narrow hallway of the inn, her small hand tucked nervously in his. Each step seemed to echo, swallowed quickly by the thick fog creeping through the open windows at the far end. "And my brother, Thomas, he's been gone 2 nights, Clara whispered. "They told me he went out to walk, that he'd be back. But he never returned. And the innkeeper, she's too quick to say he left of his own accord." Harper nodded, absorbing every word. "Tell me exactly when you last saw him." N-C-L-A-R-A paused, biting her lip. 2 nights ago, after dinner. He said he wanted to take a walk along the creek. The fog was heavy. I tried to stop him, but he insisted. He always insisted. NNTHE detective's mind began to work through possibilities. A wandering drunk? A sudden accident? Or something else? Something darker. Show me the path he might have taken. Harper said. NNCLARA led him out into the foggy night. The town was silent, except for the soft lap of water against the riverbank and the distant hoot of an owl. Gas lamps cast muted pools of light on wet cobblestones. Harper's eyes scanned the fog. Every shadow seemed alive. The creek runs close to the old mill, Clara said. Thomas often went there, but he never said why. They walked in silence, the fog thickening, until a flicker of movement caught Harper's eye. He froze. End, detective? Clara's whisper trembled, and Harper pointed toward a shadow moving between the trees along the riverbank. Someone's there. NNTHE's shadow melted back into the fog. Harper's instinct screamed caution. He took a step closer, then stopped abruptly. A wet footprint in the soft earth leading toward the river. Not fresh enough to indicate immediate danger, yet not old either. Someone had been here recently. NNHE knelt, studying the track. Broad, heavy, careful. Whoever left it knew the terrain. NNCLARA gasped. Thomas, did he leave this? Harper shook his head. No, someone else was here. And I don't think your brother simply wandered off. They continued along the river, Harper examining the surroundings, noting old benches, half-sunken boats, and fishing lines dangling like forgotten traps. The fog seemed to pulse with every step, as though the town itself were alive, watching. Suddenly, a low creak came from the old mill. The large wooden doors shifted slightly, though the wind alone could not have moved them. Harper's hand instinctively went to his coat pocket, feeling the weight of his notebook and pen. NNCLARA shivered. The mill Thomas used to play near it as a boy, but it's empty now. And empty? Harper's tone was sharp. Let's find out. NNHE led the way through the mill doors. Inside, shadows twisted in the lantern light. Broken machinery lay scattered across the wooden floor. The smell of rust and damp wood thick in the air. Harper noticed something odd. A small scrap of cloth caught on a nail near the back wall. NNHE held it up. Recognize this? Clara's eyes widened. That's Thomas's scarf, and Harper's heart sank. The boy had been here, but the trail ended abruptly. Someone had taken him, or worse, and a sudden sound from above, a floorboard cracking, made them both freeze. From the darkness of the mill loft, a figure shifted, watching them silently. A scrap of Thomas's scarf, a creaking floor above, and the fog-laden river winding like a serpent. Detective Harper realizes that Willow Creek holds more than missing persons. It holds secrets, and someone is watching. Then Harper's gaze shot upward toward the loft, lantern swinging. The wooden boards groaned again, as though the figure above were pacing. Stay behind me, Clara, Harper instructed. Whatever's up there isn't just curious, it's cautious. They moved carefully across the floorboards. Dust rose in motes, glowing in the lantern light. Each step seemed amplified, a drumbeat in the silent mill. Harper scanned the shadows, noting every beam and broken gear, every stack of crates where someone might hide. And a soft whisper drifted down, barely audible, but unmistakable. Detective, leave now. Harper froze, listening. Who's there? His voice carried authority, yet he knew it could provoke the watcher. Silence answered. NNCLARA gasped. It sounded like Thomas's voice. Harper shook his head. No, that was deliberate. Someone is using your brother as bait, or playing with us. NNHE edged toward the back of the mill. The loft stairs led up at a sharp angle, the wood slick with moisture. Harper paused, considering the risk, then proceeded slowly, revolver raised. NNH halfway up. His lantern illuminated a figure, tall, cloaked in a dark coat, moving with unnatural quiet. The person froze at the light, revealing a gloved hand clutching a small bundle. Drop it. Harper barked. NNTHE figure hesitated, then bolted across the loft, crashing into crates. Harper lunged, landing with a thud, the lantern swinging wildly. Dust filled the air. Harper caught a glimpse of a face, partially masked by a scarf, before the intruder disappeared into the rafters, and Clara's cry echoed. "Detective, what?" Harper shook his head. "Gone. For now. But they're here. And Thomas is likely still alive." NNHE examined the crates, the loft floor, and finally the corner near the broken window. There, hidden beneath a pile of tarps, he found a small handprint on the damp wood, unmistakably a child's and Clara, Harper said gently, kneeling beside her. "Your brother was here. Someone took him from the mill, not by accident." NHER hands trembled. Who would do that? And Harper's jaw tightened. Someone who wants to control the town, or someone desperate to hide what's been done. Either way, we're running out of time. They descended carefully, returning to the riverbank outside. Harper's eyes scanned the fog. The water glimmered silver, yet the mist held countless shadows, each one potentially concealing a kidnapper. "Look there," he said, pointing to a barely visible trail leading away from the river. Footprints, larger than Thomas's, pressed into the soft ground. Someone carried him this way. NNCLARA followed the trail with him, shivering in the cold night air. "Then he's not far?" "Close enough," Harper replied, voice grim. "But whoever did this knows the terrain better than we do." NNHE paused, listening to the river's gentle lapping. Then he noticed something. A faint glimmer in the fog, far down the path. A lantern, swinging gently, moving along the trail. Someone was watching them, guiding them, or luring them into danger. Then Harper gripped his revolver tighter. The figure stopped suddenly, then vanished into the mist. And from the shadows, a low, deliberate voice whispered, "Detective Harper, you should have stayed away." A lantern swings in the mist. Footprints disappear into the woods, and Detective Harper realizes the chase has only just begun. Somewhere in the fog, Thomas Whitfield is trapped, and time is running out. Then Harper moved quickly, leading Clara along the barely visible trail. The fog hugged the ground, curling around their ankles, turning every tree into a looming shadow. Each step brought a new tension. The soft rustle of leaves, the distant call of a night bird, the creek murmuring like a secret. "Detective," Clara whispered, clutching his sleeve. Do you think someone is following us?" Harper glanced over his shoulder. No one. But he knew better than to trust absence. Willow Creek had eyes everywhere, and the night had ears. "Not just following," he said softly. "We're being guided or lured." After what felt like an eternity, the trail veered off into a small clearing. At its center, nearly hidden among overgrown brambles, stood a cabin. Its roof sagged under years of neglect, and the windows were clouded with grime. Yet, a faint glow shone from within, flickering like a weak heartbeat. And Harper signaled Clara to stay back. He crept closer, lantern low, revolver ready. Each step cracked twigs beneath his boots. Inside, the cabin smelled of damp earth and smoke. Harper's pulse quickened. The faint glow came from a candle on a rough wooden table. And on that table, a small bundle of clothes. NNHE knelt, revealing Thomas Whitfield, eyes wide and frightened, but unharmed. "Thomas," Harper whispered. "It's all right. You're safe now." NNTHE boy's lips trembled. They said if anyone came, they'd... Shh, Harper soothed. "No one will hurt you, but we need to move. Someone brought you here and won't be far." NCLARA rushed forward, embracing her brother. "Oh, Thomas! Thank God!" Harper's eyes darted to the cabin entrance. Footsteps approached. Heavy, deliberate. The intruder had returned, confident, daring. Harper shifted, blocking the door with his body, revolver raised. NNTHE door swung open. A tall figure stepped inside, cloaked in shadow. The gloved hand clutched a letter. The missing note Harper had suspected held secrets about Willow Creek's darker dealings. "Detective Harper," the figure said, voice low and measured. "You're persistent, I'll give you that. But this ends tonight. The boy was never meant to leave here alive." And Harper's grip on the revolver tightened. "Who are you? What do you want?" NNTHE figure laughed softly, a sound that sent shivers down Harper's spine. "I want what Eleanor Price left behind. The ledger. The proof of sins." and anyone who interferes, NNCLARA gasped. Ledger? What ledger? Harper moved closer to the intruder. You don't scare me. Not with threats. Step aside and release Thomas. No one else needs to get hurt. NNTHE figure paused, the candlelight catching a glint of something metallic at the belt. A knife. Slowly, deliberately, the intruder raised it, but Harper acted first. A quick movement, the revolver aimed steadily, and the intruder froze in place. NNTHE tension was unbearable, the fog pressing against the cabin like a living thing. Then, a sudden shout from outside. Bailey, Harper's ally, had arrived, catching the intruder in a corner. The figure stumbled backward, and in the chaos, Harper seized the letter, flipping it open. The ledger, filled with names, secrets, and debts, was revealed. NNTHE intruder's mask fell, and Harper's breath caught. He knew the face immediately. Someone trusted, someone respected in Willow Creek, someone hiding behind the town's polite smiles. NNTHE intruder raised hands in surrender, but Harper's mind raced. How many secrets in this ledger would ruin Willow Creek forever, and who would stop at nothing to protect them? The ledger is in Harper's hands, but its pages hold secrets powerful enough to destroy lives. The intruder is unmasked, and the quiet town of Willow Creek may never feel safe again. Then Harper held the thick ledger carefully, the worn leather cover creaking faintly as he opened it. Candlelight flickered over the pages, illuminating names, accounts, and notes written in Eleanor Price's meticulous hand. NNCLARA Whitfield hovered close, Thomas clinging to her side. What is it? She asked, voice trembling. It's what Eleanor Price kept, Harper said quietly. A record of debts, favors, and secrets. The kind that can ruin people if they fall into the wrong hands. NNTHE intruder, now revealed, stood frozen near the cabin's entrance. Harper's revolver never wavered. And you, Harper said, voice low and measured, risked everything to take it. NNTHE figure sighed. I had no choice. People in this town, they would have destroyed me if the ledger went public. I only meant to protect myself. Harper's eyes narrowed. By kidnapping a child? By threatening lives? NNTHE intruder's gaze fell. I didn't intend it escalated. I thought I could scare him, the boy, enough to keep everyone in line. I was wrong. Harper turned back to the ledger. Each page revealed a network of debts and betrayals, rivalries, and whispers. A name here, a note there, a warning in the margins. Every page seemed to thrum with danger, revealing why someone would go to such lengths to control it. NNHE carefully traced a finger down a column of names, stopping on one. A prominent town official, someone trusted, yet deeply implicated in Eleanor Price's records. This, Harper said slowly, is why they wanted the ledger, to hide the truth, to maintain power. And Clara's eyes widened. Then, Thomas was in danger because of this? Yes, Harper confirmed. He was a pawn, though not intentionally. The intruder feared exposure and acted recklessly. Outside, the storm had lessened, but the fog still clung to the trees and river like a shroud. Harper knew they needed to return to the inn, to secure the ledger and ensure the intruder would face justice. NNTHE intruder lowered the knife in hand slowly. I'll cooperate. I'll go with you, they said quietly. Harper kept his revolver trained, but nodded. Good. Any sudden movements, and it won't end well for you. As they left the cabin, Harper glanced back at the darkened windows and the river curling through the fog. Willow Creek was beautiful, calm on the surface, but beneath secrets stirred, waiting to be uncovered. And back at the inn, the townsfolk gathered cautiously. Green, Clara, and others watched as Harper explained what had occurred, the kidnapping, the ledger, the intruder. Shock and disbelief rippled through the room. Will the town ever be safe? Clara asked softly, still holding Thomas's hand. Harper's gaze swept the assembled faces. Safe? He said. Maybe. But people always have secrets. Some are harmless. Some are deadly. The ledger holds proof of both. NHE closed it carefully, tucking it into his coat. Our job is to protect the innocent. To prevent fear from becoming chaos. NNCLARA nodded. eyes moist. Then, what happens to the intruder? They'll answer for their actions, Harper said firmly. But the ledger remains here, safe. Willow Creek may never be the same, but tonight, no more lives will be lost. NNTHE candle flickered as he spoke, shadows dancing on the walls, the fog outside curling like living fingers. The town had faced darkness, and for the moment it had survived. NNBUT, as Harper looked out the window at the fog lifting over the river, a figure watched from the opposite bank. Someone new, unknown, yet unmistakably aware of the ledger's secrets. Even as the ledger is secured and Thomas is safe, the night is not over. Harper senses eyes on them, hidden in the fog along the riverbank. Someone new knows the town's secrets and is waiting to strike. Then Harper stepped out onto the inn's balcony, the fog swirling around his boots like smoke from a fire. Clara and Thomas stayed inside, peering anxiously through the window. The storm had softened, leaving the streets slick and glistening under the gas lamps. Something caught Harper's eye. Movement across the riverbank, where shadows stretched long and indistinct. He squinted, trying to discern details. A figure stood just beyond the trees, motionless yet alert. Watching NNHE pulled his coat tighter, the cool wind biting. "Who's there?" he called, voice echoing softly. No answer, only the rustle of leaves and the faint lapping of the creek. And Harper's instincts told him this was no innocent wanderer. Someone had knowledge of the ledger, and likely someone had seen the chaos at the cabin. Whoever it was could act tonight or vanish before he could intervene. NNHE moved quietly down the balcony steps and onto the street. The fog muffled his footsteps, but the figure remained visible, occasionally stepping behind a tree, then re-emerging, still observing. Harper slowed, letting the distance close, careful not to spook them into flight. And suddenly, a low whistle cut through the night. Harper froze. The figure had stepped forward slightly, revealing a familiar coat and hat. But the face was still obscured by shadow. "You're persistent," a voice called from the mist. Smooth, measured, but with an edge that made Harper's pulse quicken. "And who are you?" Harper demanded. "Step into the light." An NTHE figure hesitated, then slowly raised a hand, revealing the glint of metal. Not a weapon, but a key, old and ornate. Harper's mind raced. Could this be another guardian of secrets, or someone attempting to seize the ledger for themselves? An NTHE figure spoke again. "Detective Harper, the town holds more than just your ledger. There are layers you haven't yet seen. Willow Creek has watched strangers come and go for generations. You've survived tonight, but tomorrow," Harper's jaw tightened, "tomorrow you'll be in the light. Either you explain yourself or I take you in." NNTHE figure chuckled softly. "I'm afraid the rules of this town don't belong to you, yet." A pause. "I admire your persistence. Perhaps you're the one who can finally protect it." Before Harper could respond, the figure stepped back into the fog. Within moments, they were gone, vanished as completely as they had appeared. Only the faint rustle of leaves and the glimmer of the key remained, and Harper pocketed the object, realizing its significance. Whoever it belonged to had the power to unlock more than doors. Perhaps it was a clue or a warning. NNHE returned to the inn, careful not to alarm Clara or Thomas. "The night isn't over," he said quietly. "Someone else knows about the ledger, and they're watching. But now we have a lead, and that key might help us find answers." Clara's eyes were wide. "Then we're not safe yet?" "No," Harper admitted. "Not until we understand who holds the next piece of this puzzle. Willow Creek isn't done testing us." NNTHE fog curled thicker around the inn, wrapping the building in an uneasy embrace. Somewhere along the river, in the silent, shrouded town, someone was plotting the next move. Harper knew the night would demand every ounce of vigilance, courage, and cunning he could muster, and as he prepared for the next step, a whisper drifted through the fog. Unmistakably human, carrying the faintest hint of Eleanor Price's voice. "Beware the eyes that follow, detective. Some secrets refuse to die." The fog thickens, the key pulses with hidden significance, and Detective Harper realizes the watcher is not alone. Along the riverbank, the next confrontation will test his courage and the town's fragile trust, and Harper left the inn, lantern in hand, moving cautiously toward the riverbank. The fog lay heavy, curling around the trees and bushes, making every shadow a potential threat. The key in his pocket felt like a weight and a promise at the same time. Whoever had sent it knew more than he did. NNCLARA, and Thomas remained safely inside the inn. Harper whispered into the night, "If anyone else is out here, reveal yourself. I mean no harm unless provoked." NNTHE fog shifted, and he caught movement along the bank. Two figures emerged, stepping cautiously toward him. One was the cloaked watcher from the previous night. The other, taller, broader, and unmistakably human. Someone used to strength and intimidation. "You've been busy, detective," said the watcher, voice low. "But knowledge alone doesn't save lives." Harper kept the lantern high. "And threats don't frighten me." "Who is your companion?" NNTHE second figure stepped into the light, revealing a face Harper recognized from town meetings and Sunday sermons. Reverend Mercer. Calm, composed, but with a dangerous glint in his eyes. "And you?" Harper muttered, voice tight. "You were behind the ledger's theft? The cabin? All of it?" Mercer's lips curved in a faint, chilling smile. "I merely corrected the mistakes of the past. Eleanor Price's ledger, it held power. Power to destroy reputations, careers, families. I couldn't allow it to fall into the wrong hands, and neither could my allies." NNTHE watcher's scarf fell back slightly, revealing a young woman Harper had seen around town, known for her quiet intelligence. Someone underestimated, yet clearly involved. "We're not your enemies," she said softly, "but the ledger must be protected, and Thomas is collateral. Until now." Harper's pulse quickened. "You kidnapped a boy to protect secrets? Necessary," Mercer said firmly. "Sometimes the greater good demands sacrifice. But now you hold the ledger, and that changes the balance." Harper's eyes narrowed. "Then we settle this here. No one leaves until this is over." NNTHE fog thickened, swirling around them, the river whispering softly. Harper adjusted the revolver in his hand, calculating distance, angles, and the possibilities of escape. He could see the determination in Mercer's eyes and the watcher's resolve. This confrontation would test every ounce of his wits. In a sudden movement, the watcher lunged, aiming to distract Harper. Harper fired a warning shot into the air, the crack echoing through the trees. Mercer raised his hand slowly. "Enough," he said. "This doesn't need to be violent. We only wish to ensure the ledger's protection." And Harper stepped closer. "By threatening children and wielding fear?" NTHE young woman's eyes softened. "Detective, we wanted to control the ledger until it could be secured. We did not wish for bloodshed. But someone has always sought power. And in Willow Creek, power hides in shadows." Harper realized the layers of deception. The kidnappings, the threats, the whispering fog, all designed to test him. And yet, there was truth here too. The ledger needed safeguarding, and he was now its guardian. Mercer nodded slowly, and the watcher held out a hand, revealing another clue tied to the ledger, a folded map marked with locations in Willow Creek. Harper's eyes widened. Somewhere, there was still more to uncover, and a new danger loomed in the mist. The map reveals hidden corners of Willow Creek, each location whispering secrets of the past. Detective Harper realizes the ledger is only the beginning. Someone is willing to kill to keep the town's mysteries buried. Not Harper unfolded the map, lantern light dancing across the faded paper. Red X's marked certain spots: the old mill, the library ruins, the overgrown cemetery, and a series of abandoned cabins near the creek. "The ledger isn't just a record," Harper murmured. "It's a key to something bigger in this town. Someone has been orchestrating events for decades." An NTHE young woman, the watcher, stepped closer. "Detective, you've done well to reach this far. But there are places on that map where few survive the night. Secrets buried deep, some meant to remain untouched." Harper's eyes narrowed. "And yet, Eleanor Price uncovered them. And now, so must I. What else lies hidden?" Mercer's expression was grave. Some things were buried to protect the town, others to protect power. The ledger reveals the intersections, but not the motives behind every deed. Harper tucked the ledger under his arm and motioned to the riverbank. "We start with the mill, then the ruins. We check every X. I need the ledger secured, and anyone plotting against it accounted for." NNTHE fog swirled around them, thickening with each step. The world was a blur of silver, shadows stretching like fingers along the river. Harper felt eyes on them. Always eyes, just beyond the light of the lantern. At the first X, the abandoned mill, Harper and the group found remnants of the intruder's activity: a torn piece of fabric, a crushed lantern, and scuff marks in the dirt. Clearly, someone had been here recently, monitoring, observing, waiting. NNCLARA gasped. "Detective, look!" And a hidden trapdoor lay beneath the floorboards. Harper pried it open, revealing a narrow staircase descending into darkness. The smell of damp earth and old wood rose, sharp and musty. "Ian, careful," he warned. This could be a hideout, or a place left to trap anyone curious enough to follow. They descended slowly. At the bottom, Harper's lantern illuminated a small chamber filled with papers, ledgers, and evidence of long-forgotten dealings. Old town council records, letters between prominent families, and items stolen over decades. It was a treasure trove of secrets, meticulously hidden. "And this explains everything," Harper muttered. Why the intruder was desperate, why Mercer tried to intervene, and why Thomas was taken. Someone wanted to protect these truths. NNTHE young woman stepped forward. "Detective, you're more careful than most, but the ledger alone is not enough. The town has layers, and the people who once controlled them are still present." Harper nodded. "Then we need to unearth every secret, identify every player, and ensure no one else is harmed." The ledger was only the beginning, but now the game changes. Suddenly, a faint noise echoed from above, a floorboard creaking. Harper tensed. Someone else had followed them into the chamber, someone aware of the discovery. And a shadow loomed in the doorway, and a voice whispered, chillingly calm, "Detective Harper, you've gone too far. Some secrets are meant to stay buried. The hidden chamber holds the town's secrets, but someone has been waiting for Harper. Every step now could be a trap, and the ledger's protection comes with dangerous consequences." When Harper froze, lantern raised, revolver in hand. The shadow at the doorway shifted slightly, and the faint outline of a figure became visible. Cloaked in dark fabric, the intruder's presence exuded calm menace. "And you've found it all," the voice said, low and deliberate. "But the ledger is mine. It belongs to those who understand Willow Creek's power," and Harper's jaw tightened. "Not while I'm here. The ledger protects the innocent, not greedy ambitions." NNTHE intruder stepped forward. Harper noticed a glint, a knife, concealed in the hand. But Harper had anticipated this. The revolver was steady. "NN, you cannot stop what has been planned for decades," the intruder continued. "Every move you make is exactly what I expected." Harper glanced at the young woman and Mercer, who both stood tense behind him. Clara and Thomas were safe at the inn, but the fog outside seemed to press against the chamber walls, as if the night itself conspired with the intruder. A sudden noise, a soft metallic click, made Harper shift slightly. A hidden mechanism in the chamber? The intruder smirked, clearly aware of Harper's realization. "You're clever, detective," the intruder said. "But cleverness can't prevent what's coming." Harper's mind raced. He needed a distraction, a way to unbalance the intruder without risking the ledger or the people with him. He scanned the room. Papers, ledgers, a loose stack of old books. Anything that could provide cover or distraction. NNHE grabbed a small pile of books and tossed them toward the intruder. The clatter echoed through the chamber. The intruder lunged instinctively, and Harper used the opening to advance, pressing the revolver against the arm holding the knife. "And enough," Harper said firmly. "Step away, or you'll answer for every threat tonight." An NTHE intruder froze, the knife lowered slightly. Harper's eyes narrowed, reading every motion. "You wanted to protect secrets," Harper said, "but you endangered lives. It ends here." Mercer stepped forward. "Detective, the ledger." "It stays with me," Harper interrupted, "for the town's safety." He secured it under his coat. NNTHE intruder's smirk faded, replaced by reluctant acknowledgement. "Very well," they said. "But remember, some truths are heavier than justice can bear. Willow Creek has a long memory." Harper motioned to Mercer and the watcher. "Escort them out. The ledger is safe. No more games tonight." Outside, the fog had begun to lift slightly, revealing the quiet river and the distant glow of the inn. Harper took a deep breath. The town had survived the night, the ledger protected, and Thomas was safe with his sister. NNBUT Harper knew the warning in the intruder's words was not idle. Willow Creek's past had many shadows, and while the immediate danger had passed, vigilance would always be required. As they left the chamber, Harper glanced back once more. The fog swirled, and for an instant he thought he saw another figure watching from the trees. A reminder that in Willow Creek, some secrets never truly sleep. The fog lifts, the ledger is safe, and Detective Harper finally faces the calm after the storm. But in Willow Creek, some secrets remain, and some lessons are never forgotten. First rays of dawn broke over Willow Creek, casting the river in soft gold. Harper stood on the inn's balcony, the fog retreating like a tide, revealing the quiet streets, the gas lamps still flickering in their last moments of darkness. An NCLARA, and Thomas appeared behind him, bundled in shawls, the boy clutching his sister's hand tightly. Relief shone on their faces, a fragile sunlight against the shadowed events of the night. The ledger is secure, Harper said softly. And the intruders, they're in custody. Willow Creek can begin to heal. Clara's eyes lingered on the distant riverbank. Do you think it's really over? Harper shook his head slowly. Not entirely. The town has a long memory. But tonight, justice prevailed, and that counts for something. Mercer, escorted by local authorities, gave a small nod of acknowledgement. Even in defeat, he retained a quiet dignity, a reminder that not all who err are entirely evil. Some simply make choices they later regret. And Harper carefully laid the ledger on the inn's main desk. Its worn cover was a testament to the years of secrets it had carried: names, debts, confessions, and warnings. He traced a finger over the leather, mindful of the responsibility it represented. Detective Harper, the young watcher said, stepping forward, the fog clearing around her. You've done more than anyone expected. The ledger will be protected now, and the town, at least for a while, will be safe. Harper nodded. It's more than just safety. It's accountability. Willow Creek can't erase its past, but it can prevent the present from being poisoned by it. The river sparkled under the morning sun, reflecting the trees along its bank. Harper felt a rare sense of calm settle over him. The danger was gone, for now, and the town had survived. NNHE glanced back at the inn, the familiar brick walls bathed in gentle light. Gas lamps glowed faintly before extinguishing themselves, a final gesture of the night's vigilance giving way to day. Harper knew that life in Willow Creek would continue, with its quiet streets, its watchful residents, and yes, its hidden stories. NNCLARA squeezed Thomas's hand. Thank you, Detective. You saved my brother, and maybe the town too. Harper smiled faintly, a touch of warmth breaking through his usually serious demeanor. It's what I do, Miss Whitfield. But remember, the town's safety also depends on people like you, who see danger and act with courage. NHE turned back to the river one last time. The shadows of the night had receded, but their memory lingered. Every whispered secret, every hidden truth, was a reminder of how fragile peace could be. As Harper prepared to leave, he tucked the ledger securely under his coat. There were still questions to answer, details to document, and lessons to pass along. But for now, Willow Creek was quiet, and the dawn held promise. Resolution NTHE intruders had been exposed, the ledger secured, and Thomas returned safely to his sister. The town's secrets, though powerful, had been managed without bloodshed. Harper had faced deception, danger, and darkness, and emerged with both justice and insight. Then, as the sun climbed higher, Harper walked toward his car, the sound of gravel under his boots marking a steady rhythm. Willow Creek slept beneath the morning light, a town of whispers and hidden histories, now a little safer, now a little wiser. And somewhere in the distance, the river murmured gently, carrying the echoes of secrets past, ready to be remembered or forgotten. NNTHE end.